Hello, everyone. Welcome to the inaugural episode of the Ball Don't Lie podcast. I'm Carson. As always, I'm joined by. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, it's me, Kiefer. Yo.
Today, we're going to be discussing who are the top five point guards in the league today.
I think, well,
Who do you have at five? Who do you have at five?
at five, oh, let me think. So, okay. Number five in the league right now, I'm gonna put LaMelo Ball.
Lamelo Ball.
I mean, what he's been doing for the Hornets this year. I mean, to be fair, the Hornets are not that good right now, but that's no fault of his own. I mean, he's been going crazy.
The one real fault I have with Lamelo is I'm not sure if his brand of basketball is winning basketball yet. And how many games has he missed this season?
Mm,
Um,
uh,
like 12, like 12. 12 out of 30. Uh, so the health is
yeah.
still a concern.
It is. Um, and I will not deny that. But I think watching him play is just impressive, really. Like the offensive prowess.
Top four in
Um,
scoring, top eight in assists.
yeah, crazy stuff. And he passes the eye test with flying colors. Like
Oh yeah, nobody's doing what he's doing right now.
the Hornets, when they're healthy, are one of the most fun teams to watch.
Yeah, yeah. And they traded for Josh Okogie about a week ago. Has he played yet?
Yeah. Um, shoot, I don't know.
Um.
I haven't.
Oh, he has. He had a double double. Nice, nice, nice. Good for him.
Nice.
So at the five spot, uh, I feel like this could be a hot take, but I feel like it's time to, rip the band-aid off. I think Steph Curry has fallen to the fifth best point guard in the league.
Really? Five? I don't.
The way
I
the Warriors have been playing, I mean, sure, he's carrying a lot of the weight, but the scoring has taken a pretty big step back from what you expect from a guy like Steph Curry. Um, you know,
I mean,
only about 6 assists per game. Uh, sure, you could attribute that some to his teammates. He's still efficient scorer, 40% from deep, but the numbers and the results just I don't feel are there yet.
I- Curry is probably is on one of, if not the worst team he's ever been on. They do not have a consistent second option. Um, they do not. They lack identity really. Like watching them play, it's kind of obvious to me that they don't there's not very much cohesion. Trying to guess what I'm getting at. They need more big people in there to play because I mean, no disrespect to Kevon Looney, but
He's not who you want
I,
at a starting center role.
no. So I just think a lot of Curry's drops in numbers can be attributed to, not completely, but I'm willing to say a lot of it can be attributed to the cast around him. And he is still an elite point guard. So
The
yeah,
biggest
that's just where I stand on it.
the biggest gripe I would say with how he's playing, the Warriors are obviously a bad team. He's not in a good position to win. But when you're the guy who
Yeah.
they're looking at with all eyes to carry the team, the inconsistencies in his play all around is just I see it and I'm like this like some nights he'll 60% from deep and then the next night 20%. It's really
Yeah,
it's not looking
I
like
guess.
Olympic Curry.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I do think a lot of it, like I said, is the team around him. I do agree that he is playing inconsistently. I mean, looking at his stats now, he went 5 for 12 from three in the last game, 1 for 4 the game before that, but he did have 12 assists,
And then
4 for 12 against the Celtics. I mean, I and how much of that can be like teams playing more defense on him, like sending double teams his way, because you see the same thing with Ant this season. Like
yeah.
some guy, well, it's just tougher to deal with a double team. So and it's just extenuated with the Warriors because they, like I said, they don't
No
have
weapons
a,
outside of Curry.
yeah.
Buddy Hield is gonna do Buddy Hield and be not the the Buddy Hield you want.
And Dennis Schroeder is there.
He's there. He's there. That's for sure. So who do you have
And then like
fourth best point guard in the league?
four, um, Trey Young.
Trey Young. Trey Young. He's one of the I would say snubs on my list, but I've been loving what I've been seeing from Trey. He's playing phenomenal.
Yeah, I think he is very effective offensively. I think what he lacks in defense is more than made up for in that regard. And just the Atlanta Hawks are not a bad team. Um, uh,
They're 500 right now.
what? Yeah, but who do they have outside of Trey? They have Clint Capella.
I feel they have great pieces that work in tandem with Trey. Like if you're building a team around a ball dominant guy like Trey, the guys they've surrounded him with, I would say, perfect matches.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Um, I think right now the Trey Young led Hawks, at least for my preseason predictions, are outperforming what I had expected them to do. And I think a lot of that is up to Trey Young having good scoring nights, um, being able to swing the rock, being able to be a leader on his team, and yeah, he's just a great NBA player. I didn't watch a lot of Trey Young basketball last year. Uh, I never really watched any Hawks games, but this year watching play basketball, uh, it's 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 cool. I like the way Trey Young plays basketball.
I've been singing Trey's praises since he got drafted 2018. I've had wished nothing but the best and had high hopes for him. 11.7
Yeah,
assists, currently leading the league, is crazy. The he's healthy this season, which is great. Love watching him play and being on the court leading the Hawks.
yeah,
Um, the one main gripe that I was like, maybe I shouldn't put him on my list. I don't feel the efficiency is where I would want it to be. I mean, 35% from deep, that's still pretty good, but I don't know. I want to see more from him, uh, shooting wise, because he's arguably a top a top five deep ball shooter of all time. Not 3 point shooter, but really deep ball shooter. Um,
yeah.
and phenomenal play from him
I
this
mean,
season
yeah,
though. In the in season tournament,
that's totally
great.
yeah. Trey Young, Trey Young basketball really makes me happy to watch. Who do you have at number 4?
At number four, I feel he might have started the season a little bit slower, but from what I've been seeing, making a great All Star push and playing phenomenally. Cade Cunningham. You know, Pistons have been great this season. He's averaging 25, 6.5, and 9 assists, which is absurd. The Pistons above 500. I don't think anybody really expected that. They all really got written off. The play with his back to the basket and the way he's able to facilitate the floor and 37% from deep. He's shooting the ball incredibly efficient. Just great all around player.
Yeah, I mean, I think for point guards, especially in the league, at least like 3 through 7, I think they're all very interchangeable when
Yeah.
it comes to rankings because they're all like very, very good. Um, and yeah, like you were saying with Trey Young, I think Cade is one of probably the biggest snubs from my list. Um, and I should say shout out Cade Cunningham because he's been doing phenomenal this year. Phenomenal. Um, and the Pistons are obviously performing very well, and that that's him. That's him. He's doing that. So yeah, I mean, the one major thing I would say about Cade's game that is kind of that we probably should talk about is his volume is high most of the time. There is he goes through spurts of games shooting a high volume of shots, and then he just doesn't shoot for a game for some reason. Like I don't really understand it. There was probably a week a while back where I was watching the Pistons games, and it just felt like after I'd watched a couple, I was on the second or third game, I forget. But I just kept finding myself being like, why isn't Cade shooting the ball? Like,
Um.
I think he could be a higher volume shooter, and I think that would benefit him because he's very efficient, like you said, and I think he could shoot a higher volume of 3 pointers, especially. I think would benefit him.
I don't mean to undermine your take there, but I'm looking through his box scores, and I'm only seeing like I can really count out on my hands the amount of games where he has under 15 shot attempts. Um, he's averaging a little bit over 20 shot attempts per game this season. Uh, you know, about
Yeah, and maybe it's because like, I watch the Timberwolves most of the time, and I could be wrong, But I do feel like, especially Ant, uh, takes a lot of shots, and I'm used to seeing him take the shots he takes. So to see Cade passing up shots, I'm used to seeing someone take. Maybe that's and yeah, looking at Ant's field goal attempts over the last
About 2 more shots per game than Cade.
yeah. So
Or same amount,
I don't
actually.
know.
My bad.
I mean, it could be just a small difference, but yeah, I that was I'm really fond of Cade, really, on really both ends of the floor. Uh, looking back, maybe I could put him over LaMelo. Um, still like what LaMelo's doing, but just because you know
Cade
he
Cunningham, man.
isn't playing. But yeah, I think Cade Cunningham is an amazing NBA player.
Healthy, too. Healthy.
I do. Mhm.
So I'm assuming you have the light skin assassin at number 3.
Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry.
Look at Curry, man. So inspirational.
That's all I need to say. I love Curry. I feel like, he's not performing the same level that he used to, but I'm willing to attribute that to the team that surrounds him. And maybe that's Cope. It probably might be mostly Cope, but he's still a phenomenal NBA player. Uh, Still going strong in year. What year is he on now? Like,
Uh, 15, 16?
yeah. Um, and I have a lot of respect for the guy, and I think he plays the game well. He's played it at a high level for a long time, and this year he's doing a little worse, but by no means is he doing bad.
Still an all-star level player. Do you feel
Yeah.
he deserved the all-star starter recognition?
Yeah,
Starter?
I do. Um, well, you know, I I have conflicting thoughts on the All-Star starters. You probably know that. Um, especially for the West.
Yeah.
But um, I think that I don't mind it. I think Curry, great player, very good. I think I think him and Shea both earned their starting spot.
He's a guy you want to see in the all-star game.
Mhm.
Do I feel
Mhm.
like he's playing at the level to be a starter? Not necessarily, but I'm never going to pass on the opportunity to watch LeBron, KD, and Curry all on the same team. Don't be ridiculous.
Man, imagine Shea and LeBron both starting, or Shea and Ant starting the same All-Star game, bro.
All I'm going to say about Curry, Father Time's doing his thing. You know, that's all I've got to say.
Okay.
So there's two. There's the top two is like you can't argue these guys aren't top two.
Did you say you're number three yet?
Oh, did I? Oh my. Oh, I'm. Yeah, my bad. Jalen Brunson. You know,
Jalen Brunson. I was gonna put him in my honorable mentions too. Great player. Um, Obviously, like,
ninth in points, ninth in
great
assists.
great facilitator, great uh great scorer. The only reason I did not include Jalen Brunson in my top five is the very simple reason. Unlike all the other point guards in my top five, Jalen Brunson is not the first option on his team. And
How many points is Cat averaging?
we we can obviously argue, but I think Karl Anthony Towns is the main person on the Knicks right now.
That's fair, but I don't feel we should. When Chris Paul wasn't the first option, right? Like Lob City Clippers
Mm,
days, when it was
yeah.
Blake Griffin is the guy scoring. Um, we still considered Chris Paul a top five point guard. We considered Russell Westbrook a top five point guard when he was playing with Kevin Durant. We considered Steph Curry a top five point guard when he was playing with Kevin Durant. Um, so I don't really feel.
Are we putting Jalen Brunson on that level?
Um,
Especially with the stacked the stacked roster of point guards in the league right now. Are we putting Jalen Brunson on that level?
you know, part of me is factoring in what he was doing last year, right? And I feel he's still.
That's totally fair.
I
That's
feel
totally
he's
fair.
still that level of player. I don't think Cat getting there changed anything. He's putting up
Yeah.
still great numbers, incredibly efficient, about 50, 40, 80. And he's incredibly healthy. I don't see any like holes in his game that really bother me, and I think he's playing at the a type of high level that qualifies him to be top 3.
You know, I am not against that. And like I said, the top like 3 to 7 point guards all interchangeable because the amount of
Talent in the league is crazy.
amazing yeah, it's like you could look at like even the lower tier starting point guards in the league, like I don't know,
Lonzo Ball.
uh, is D'Angelo Russell starting on the Nets? I haven't seen a Nets game
Um,
since he got traded.
uh,
But
well,
like
it's him or Ben
Mike
Simmons.
Conley, Mike Conley's good.
Yeah,
Um, and I just think like I the league obviously has never been as stacked as it is right now, and so like you could make an argument for maybe not all 30 starting point guards in the league, but a lot of them,
are an all-star
a
level point
lot of
guard.
them. Yeah.
I don't
Um,
I haven't really thought about this take very much too much, but I think I'm gonna air it out right now. Um, I think this is maybe the best era for point guards in NBA history.
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Um, obviously, I I do agree. I guess the next closest era would be the one that came right before this
Yeah,
with you know, Curry, CP, um,
Russ,
all those.
all those guys.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. D Rose,
Oh, forgot about D Rose.
you got all those guys. But I do agree. We're in a guard renaissance right now.
Uh,
Top two is obvious.
it's
Uh,
it's Shea or
it's
Luca.
very
The
obvious.
order is a conversation though.
It is, and I think
So who do you think is better?
I don't
Because
I don't know what you think of this, and I have a feeling you're probably gonna disagree with me. But I'm putting, and so, okay, some of this might be about malice, but
oh,
I'm
most
putting
definitely. Oh,
Luka Doncic at 2 and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander as the number one best
this man
point
knows
guard in the league
ball.
right now.
This man knows ball.
It's
What?
just they're obviously the top two guards in the point guards in the league right now, like
Yeah.
inarguably. But what puts Shea above Luka, in my opinion, is a few things. One, first, consistency. I mean,
Amen.
the man said it himself. His life is consistent.
Everything he does.
Um, everything he does, and whether it's through tough shots or free throws, he's gonna be getting you those 31 points every night.
He's 32 actually.
Um,
He leads the league in scoring.
ah, yeah.
He's so tough, man.
Um, but he's very very consistent to a point where like it's fun to watch him, but it's also kind of not because you know he's going to do crazy
We
well.
we saw Shea live last year.
And we did. It's a good experience.
He played well.
Um, hmm Yeah, and another thing that puts Shea above Luca, in my opinion, is just the regular season in general. A lot of it is the start of the regular season. Luca comes into every season.
He
He
plays
plays
himself.
himself
Yeah.
into shape, which I personally don't. I'm not a big fan of that. I like when, players stay in shape over the off season. I like when they come into the season ready to play basketball. And Luca doesn't do that, and it affects his team in a negative way. I mean, right now, the Mavericks are the seventh seed. They ended last year as the sixth seed, I think. They're always hovering around that area, and I think part of the reason Luca has that injury right now is because he had to play himself into shape, and when you're out of shape and forcing yourself to get into shape, you're at a higher risk of injury. And
Well,
what I'm worried about is Luca coming back from this injury and
out
having
of
it
shape.
be very obvious that he was not working very hard.
I don't think Luca played himself into shape as much this offseason. But in the playoffs last year, the whole playoff run, he was obviously dealing with a lot of injuries.
Mhm.
And then
Mhm.
in the summer, he suited up for Slovenia in the Olympics, and he never really got that break. And when he was dealing with injuries, up to the into the finals, so June, he had July off, and then he was back to business. Um,
I mean,
Actually,
fair enough, but
Olympics started in July, so he really didn't have an off season to recover from that injury.
I mean, he definitely did not enter the season going full speed though. You could tell the first few games
Yeah,
at least that he was not playing like himself. In the playoffs, yes, he had multiple injuries, and he still beat my Timberwolves.
he beat SGA as well. Uh, Keep that in mind.
Yeah, yeah, but SGA is younger, um,
By a little.
and by a little, but still,
2018 draft class, both of them.
I think SGA. Uh, I just think he's the better NBA player. I think uh, he's better on defense. Not that that's like impressive,
Uh,
but
it, it's
he is.
it's very impressive. Shea is one of the better defensive guards in the league. Luca's one of, if not the worst, and two sides to the game. So really got to factor that in. How much does Luca's the
Yeah.
offensive gap isn't huge between the two, but the defensive gap is.
Mhm. I think if the Thunder and the Mavericks meet in the playoffs again this year, I think the outcome will be different. The Mavericks overall really lost depth since last season.
The Thunder
And
are
then,
still the one seed. When was Shet hasn't played in since November, I think.
yeah, if the Thunder have a healthy playoff run, there's no way they don't make the finals.
I think Chet or no
Unless
Chet.
the Timberwolves stop them.
I think the Thunder, unless uh, SGA gets hurt or J Dub gets hurt, I think the Thunder are a lock to be in the finals this year.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. I think it's Thunder or Mavericks, really. I mean, let, the top seeds right now are Thunder, Rockets, Grizzlies, Nuggets, Lakers, Clippers, Mavericks, Timberwolves. Um, as a Timberwolves fan, the Timberwolves are not. They're not
They
doing
don't
it this
got
year.
it.
Unless they can flip Julius Randle for like a crazy freaking trade. The Timberwolves are not doing much this year. Maybe first, hopefully second round exit. Mavericks, I mean, they have a chance at making the finals, but if they encounter, I think the Mavericks lose if they face the Thunder or the Nuggets.
Yeah,
I think both of those
they
teams
don't
are
have
better right
anybody
now.
to match up with.
Clippers, Clippers.
It's the Clippers.
Clippers. It's the Clippers. They're a first round exit. Los Angeles Lakers. They okay. The Lakers could. I can foresee them making it pretty far in the playoffs as long as they don't meet the Nuggets.
That's the way it's shaping up to right now. But did you caught the Lakers game last night, right? You saw the
No,
outcome.
I didn't. I was doing something.
The
I was out of the house.
the Lakers they blew out the healthy Boston Celtics.
Really?
Bronny James got minutes.
That
Is
that's
Bronny
pretty
James
cool.
a top 10 point guard in the league right now?
Is Bronny James Jason Tatum's father? That's
Hey,
next episode's topic.
so some other point guards in the league we just didn't mention at all. Where does Ja Morant? None of us had him on our lists, but
John Morant. You know what? I changed what I said. It's not it's 3 through like 10, maybe 15 that are interchangeable.
all of
But man, Ja is. I know I said some of these other guards were entertaining to watch, but I think Ja takes the cake. Most entertaining, purely entertaining point guard in the league to watch.
I don't even think you need to say point guard. I think you can say most entertaining player in the league and stop there.
Well, I'm biased.
You are very.
I, I'm gonna put Anthony Edwards above him.
You know, other notable players we didn't mention. James Harden, De'Aaron Fox, Darius
James
Garland.
Harden, James Harden, another one. Age is catching up to him. I feel like De'Aaron Fox has been good. He's been playing well.
Yeah,
Just you don't. The Kings' record doesn't really reflect that.
since firing Mike Brown, they've been playing great basketball. Excellent turnaround.
I mean, yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, man. There's a lot of talented point guards.
Darius Garland playing great basketball.
Darius Garland is this his second All-Star appearance this year?
We're assuming he makes the All Star team this year.
Uh, he was top 10 in votes, wasn't he?
Yeah, but votes don't really mean
Oh,
too much.
yeah. The formatting's weird. I don't really understand the new format.
I I bet he'll be an All Star this year. So second All Star appearance this year.
Man, the shooting guards episode is gonna be crazy. You
It
think
will.
the point guard position is stacked?
The point guard position is more stacked. Let's be for real.
That's for next episode.
Uh, Obviously Damian Lillard still in those conversations.
Mm,
Tyrese Halliburton, uh,
mhm. Yep.
Tyrese Maxey. Some great players we didn't mention. Uh,
Jared McCain.
he's more of a two, wouldn't you say?
Jared McCain.
Jared McCain, yeah. Terrible that he got hurt. Is
Man,
there
he was gonna be the rookie of the year.
is there a really good rookie point guard this year? None come to mind.
That's not injured, you mean?
Yeah, I would still say McCain is more of a two, but um, oh, Stefan Castle has been playing more of a two. Reed Shepard disappointing. Um, you're a Wolves
A
fan.
lot of the
How's Rob have been playing?
Yeah. Rob hasn't been playing. I mean, when he has gotten minutes, Rob has been very good looking. A lot of upside. He's just very raw, you know. Obviously needs to develop into the league, but I think once Mike Conley retires, he'd be
Yeah, when Rob gets over 15 minutes played, he usually gets at least 10 points. Not a big sample size, but I like what I see from him. Great upside, I think. Well, everyone, this has been a great episode discussing the top 5 point guards in the league. We're currently experiencing a little bit of technical difficulties, so I feel now is a good time to wrap up the episode. You know, I hope you all enjoyed the inaugural episode. Please consider subscribing to the channel, liking the videos. Consider sharing us with a friend. You know, help us grow the community, the podcast. Feel free to point out any critiques or flaws you have in our lists, and thank you all for watching and listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode.